Have you ever found yourself making more trips to the bathroom than you used to, especially during the night, interrupting that much-needed sleep? Or perhaps you feel an unexpected urgency that seems to come out of nowhere, leaving you feeling a little less confident when you're out and about. It's a reality many of us face as we gracefully navigate life after 60, a quiet discomfort that can surprisingly chip away at our daily enjoyment and peace of mind. We often chalk it up to just being part of getting older, something unavoidable. But what if I told you there's a powerful, often overlooked secret hiding in plain sight, right there on your dinner plate? What we choose to eat can have a profound impact on our bladder, prostate, and kidney health, far more than most of us realize. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 specific foods that many urologists warn against, particularly for those of us over 60 because of the silent ways they can impact your urinary system. These aren't just minor irritants. For many, they can be key players in those uncomfortable symptoms. Stick with me until the very end, because I'll share something truly surprising that could change how you approach your diet and your bladder comfort forever. Let's dive right into the first culprit, a broad category that unfortunately makes up a large part of many modern diets: highly processed foods and sugary drinks. Now, I know, these are convenient, they're often delicious, and they're everywhere. We're talking about those packaged snacks like crisps, biscuits, and microwave meals, as well as sugary cereals, fizzy drinks, and fast food. What makes these so problematic for your urinary health, especially as you age? It comes down to a few key factors. Firstly, they are typically loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and a long list of artificial ingredients, preservatives, and colorings. When your body tries to digest and process these foreign substances, it triggers widespread inflammation. Think of it like a low-grade fire burning quietly throughout your system. This inflammation doesn't just affect your joints or your heart. It directly impacts the delicate lining of your bladder and the surrounding tissues. An irritated bladder is a sensitive bladder, and that can lead to increased urgency, more frequent trips to the bathroom, and a general feeling of discomfort. It's like constantly poking an already tender spot. Beyond immediate irritation, the sheer amount of sugar in these items can contribute to weight gain. As we get older, excess weight puts more pressure on our bladder and pelvic floor muscles, which are already facing the natural effects of aging. This added pressure can worsen symptoms of incontinence or overactive bladder. And it's not just the direct pressure. Chronic high sugar intake is a major driver of type 2 diabetes, a condition that unfortunately has a direct and significant impact on nerve function, including the nerves that control your bladder. Damaged nerves mean your bladder might not signal correctly, leading to either an inability to fully empty or an inability to hold urine effectively. Imagine trying to talk on a crackly phone line. That's what a diabetic bladder can feel like. Furthermore, the kidneys, our body's incredible filtration system, have to work overtime to process all the artificial additives and excess sodium often found in these processed foods. This constant heavy workload can strain kidney function over time, potentially leading to long-term issues. Think about those moments when you grab a quick microwave meal or a sugary soda because it's easy. It feels harmless. Right. You're just satisfying a craving or saving time. But underneath that convenience, these foods are waging a quiet, persistent battle against your delicate urinary system. Instead of reaching for a packet of biscuits, why not try a handful of fresh berries or a piece of fruit instead of a fizzy drink? Sip on some refreshing water infused with cucumber or lemon, making a conscious effort to read labels and choose whole, unprocessed foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains can drastically reduce the inflammatory burden on your body and offer your bladder the relief it deserves. It's not about perfection, but about making more mindful choices, one meal at a time, now. While those processed goodies might seem like a simple pleasure, there's another common daily habit that's often overlooked, especially when it comes to bladder comfort. And it might be something you rely on every single morning. Moving on to our next food category that often needs a closer look, especially as we age: excessive caffeine, particularly from coffee and energy drinks. That morning cup of coffee, or two, or three, feels like a lifeline, doesn't it? It jumpstarts your day, gives you that burst of energy. And for many, it's a beloved ritual. But for many over 60, it becomes a direct pipeline to the nearest bathroom, often without much warning. Here's why caffeine can be a major issue for your urological health. Firstly, caffeine is a diuretic. This means it stimulates your kidneys to produce more urine, making you need to urinate more frequently. It's your body's way of trying to get rid of that extra fluid. But it can quickly overwhelm your bladder's capacity, leading to urgent, sometimes uncontrollable, trips to the toilet. Secondly, and perhaps more significantly for bladder comfort, caffeine is a well-known bladder irritant. It can directly stimulate the bladder muscle, causing it to contract more frequently and forcefully. This irritation can exacerbate symptoms of overactive bladder, leading to increased urgency, frequency, and even accidental leakage. Imagine your bladder as a calm balloon, patiently holding liquid. When caffeine is introduced, it's like someone is constantly squeezing that balloon, making it want to empty even when it's not full. This irritation isn't just about frequency. It can also cause a feeling of discomfort or a burning sensation in some individuals. This is particularly true for strong coffee, but also applies to energy drinks, black teas, and some sodas that are high in caffeine. Think about your routine. Perhaps you have a large mug of coffee first thing, another one mid-morning, and then maybe a caffeinated soda in the afternoon. Each of these adds to the cumulative effect, keeping your bladder in a constant state of agitation. This cycle can also significantly disrupt your sleep. If you're consuming caffeine late in the day, it keeps you awake, and then the diuretic effect causes you to wake up to use the bathroom, further robbing you of restorative sleep. The solution isn't necessarily to cut out caffeine entirely, especially if you truly enjoy it. It's about moderation and awareness. Try gradually reducing your intake. If you drink 3 cups of coffee, try switching one to decaf, or replace one with a herbal tea that's naturally caffeine-free, like chamomile or peppermint. Observe how your bladder responds. You might be surprised at the difference just cutting back slightly can make. Hydrate properly throughout the day with plain water, but avoid excessive fluid intake right before bed to help minimize those nighttime awakenings. Sometimes, simply swapping your afternoon caffeinated beverage for a glass of water can make a world of difference to your evening and nighttime bladder comfort. So, while cutting back on that beloved brew can make a world of difference, let's turn our attention to something that adds a kick to our meals, but might be causing discomfort in an unexpected place. So, while cutting back on that beloved brew can make a world of difference, let's turn our attention to something that adds a kick to our meals, but might be causing discomfort in an unexpected place: spicy foods. Who doesn't love a bit of spice in their life? That fiery curry, a dash of hot sauce on your eggs, or some zesty chili in your favorite stew can certainly liven up a meal and make it exciting. But for some of us, especially those over 60 with a more sensitive urinary system, that thrilling kick goes a little too far. Straight to the bladder. The compounds that give spicy foods their heat, like capsaicin in chili peppers, are potent irritants. When you eat them, your body processes these compounds, and they eventually make their way through your digestive system and into your urine. As these irritants pass through the urinary tract, they can directly irritate the lining of the bladder and the urethra. This irritation is similar to how they irritate your mouth and throat, causing a burning sensation, but in a much more delicate area. The result: increased bladder pain, a feeling of discomfort, heightened urgency, and more frequent urges to urinate. For some individuals, it can even feel like a burning sensation during urination, mimicking the symptoms of a urinary tract infection. even when no infection is present. This is particularly true for those who already experience symptoms of an overactive bladder or interstitial cystitis, where the bladder lining is already inflamed or sensitive. Imagine you have a minor cut on your hand, and then you accidentally rub chili powder into it. That's a bit like what happens to a sensitive bladder when it encounters those fiery compounds. The good news is that for many, the effects of spicy foods are quite immediate and noticeable, making it easier to identify the connection. If you find yourself experiencing bladder discomfort or urgency shortly after enjoying a spicy meal, it's a clear sign that your bladder is reacting. You don't have to give up flavor entirely, but perhaps opt for herbs and spices that don't carry that fiery kick. Consider experimenting with milder spices like turmeric, ginger, or cumin, which offer wonderful flavor without the bladder irritation. Or, if you love a certain dish, try preparing a milder version of it at home, where you can control the amount of spice. It's about finding that balance where you can enjoy your food without suffering the uncomfortable consequences. Now that we've tackled the heat, let's talk about something often hidden in plain sight. Something that makes our food taste good but can silently burden our kidneys and bladder. And finally, for our fifth and often most surprising food, to be mindful of artificial sweeteners. You try to be healthy. Right. You swap out that full sugar fizzy drink for a diet version. Or you reach for a sugar-free treat, thinking you're doing your body a favor by cutting down on calories and sugar. But what if those healthier choices are actually secretly contributing to your bladder woes? Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, and acesulfame potassium are widely used in diet foods and beverages, sugar-free chewing gum, yogurts, and even some medications. They are marketed as a way to enjoy sweetness without the caloric impact of sugar, making them popular for weight management and blood sugar control. However, for a significant number of people, especially as we age, these synthetic compounds can be potent bladder irritants. The exact mechanism isn't fully understood, but clinical observations and patient reports strongly suggest a link. When consumed, these sweeteners are processed by your body and eventually excreted through the kidneys and into your bladder. As they pass through, they can irritate the delicate lining of the bladder, leading to increased urgency, more frequent urination, and a general feeling of bladder discomfort. For some, it can even trigger or worsen symptoms of an overactive bladder or interstitial cystitis. Imagine your bladder lining as a smooth, sensitive surface. These artificial compounds, while seemingly harmless to your taste buds, can act like tiny abrasive particles as they pass through, causing subtle irritation and inflammation. It's particularly frustrating because people often switch to these products specifically to be healthier, only to find themselves experiencing unexpected urinary symptoms. This can lead to a vicious cycle of trying different healthy options without realizing the hidden culprit. So, how can you navigate this? The key is to be a label detective. Start reading the ingredient lists on products, especially those marketed as diet, light, or sugar-free. Look for common artificial sweeteners. If you suspect artificial sweeteners might be contributing to your bladder issues, try a period of elimination for a few weeks. Consciously avoid all products containing artificial sweeteners. Replace diet sodas with plain water, sparkling water with a splash of fruit juice, or unsweetened herbal teas. If you need a sweet touch, consider using a very small amount of natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup. Or better yet, enjoy the natural sweetness of fruits in moderation. Sometimes, a small amount of real sugar might be less irritating to your bladder than an artificial alternative. The goal isn't to demonize all sweet things, but to be aware of what your body, particularly your bladder, can tolerate. It's about listening to your body's signals and making informed choices that prioritize your comfort and well-being. So, there you have it. 5 common foods and food categories that could be silently impacting your urological health, those highly processed. sugary culprits that fuel inflammation, the beloved but often overdone caffeine that irritates and increases frequency, the fiery spice that can make your bladder feel like it's on fire, the hidden salt in our everyday meals that burdens our kidneys, and surprisingly, those artificial sweeteners we often rely on, thinking they're the healthier choice. It's not about perfection, but about awareness and making small, informed choices. Remember, your body is incredibly resilient, and even minor adjustments can lead to significant improvements in your comfort and quality of life. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start with one change, perhaps reducing your fizzy drink intake or swapping out your afternoon coffee for decaf. See how you feel after a week or two, and then consider another adjustment. These simple shifts, made consistently, can truly make a big difference to your bladder comfort, your sleep, your confidence when you're out with friends, and your overall peace of mind as you live your vibrant life over 60. Taking control of what you eat is one of the most empowering steps you can take for your urological health. It's about nurturing your body with kindness and making choices that support its natural functions, rather than challenging them. You deserve to feel comfortable and confident every single day. To enjoy your golden years without constant worry about where the nearest bathroom is. Small changes really can unlock a world of difference. Have you noticed any of these foods affecting your bladder or kidney health? Or perhaps you found other dietary changes that have helped you. Share your experiences and what has worked for you in the comments below. Your insights could truly help someone else who's going through the same thing, struggling to find answers. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us know we're providing valuable content. And consider subscribing to our channel. We're here to bring you more practical, easy to understand advice to help you navigate this wonderful stage of life with confidence and vitality. Thank you for watching. And remember, you are in control of so much more than you think. Live your best life at every age with a healthy, happy bladder.